This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, so in this video, I want to give you as much information as I possibly can about Matchroom Boxing USA, Eddie Hearn's announcement that he signed an 8-year deal with a budget of $1 billion with Dazn and Perform. And of course, this will be for the USA market, and Dazn is already in Austria, Germany, Japan, Switzerland and Canada. So it going into America is a real show of intent. It's a British company founded in Great Britain, in London of course, and the headquarters is also in London as well. And the owner of Dazn is Perform Group, and the CEO, so the head honcho, is James Rushton. Now, this deal is the largest ever broadcasting deal in boxing, with a budget of $125 million per year for Eddie Hearn. Now, this doesn't mean that it's going to be equally split across all the shows, and what I mean by that is, this works out to be around about $4 million, $4 million per show, because it'd be 16 events of boxing in America and 20 in United Kingdom. Now you have to remember now, so even though it's like $4 million per show, that doesn't mean he's going to be spending $4 million per show, because he's still going to be doing the York Hall and Newcastle and shows like that, because these shows are important. So the likes of Luke Watkins versus Lawrence Okoli that we have at York Hall, this isn't going to cost that much, is it? Well, it's going to be about $1 million for all of it, if that really. So this will be money that he saves for other events, for bigger events. And these little shows are important. They're important for the progress of fighters, because these fighters like Okoli, and you've got, obviously here in Newcastle, you've got the likes of Lewis Ritson and Josh Kelly and many others like that. And ultimately, they could go into Liverpool for the likes of the future, for like Anthony Fowler. These guys need to be headlining their own shows. And these shows are not going to cost that kind of money. So we're still going to be getting the small shows, which is fantastic. I don't want that to go away, because as I said, for these kind of guys to headline a show, is good for the future. It gets them used to being the headliner, and ultimately they could become top headliners, if you know what I mean. So O2 Arena, the Barclays Center and things like that. So with this budget of $125 million per year is phenomenal. This is a budget that is higher than HBO and Showtime combined. Added to the fact, he's also got Sky Sports, who also fund him, as in throughout his entire Matchroom Boxing here in the UK, it's been funded by Sky Sports plus sponsors. So you top that up as well. It's not like Sky Sports are being pushed to the side. They're not. They are still going to be funding. They're still going to be giving Eddie Hearn money to put on shows. Okay, so think about it. He is in a position, a massive power move. Not only for the UK, obviously here in the UK, we won't be using Dazn, okay, because we have Sky Sports. So everything that Matchroom Boxing does in the UK and America and wherever else in the world, it will be on Sky Sports. But for those in America, you have Dazn. Obviously, it's a monthly subscription. Don't quite know how much it's going to cost. In Germany, what I'm told by Box and Box Center, who obviously lives in Germany, he pays $10 a month or €10 a month for it. I'm not going to say it's going to be $10. It's probably going to be around about 20, I would imagine. Now, with the kind of money that he's getting, he could bring any fighter into his stable, multiples of them. But of course, he has said that he doesn't want to just bring in everybody, but he does want the biggest stable in the world for boxing. So he's going to have more fighters than Al Heyman at PBC. More fighters than Bob Arum, more fighters than Golden Boy. Now, on top of that, of course, he's still got all the UK fighters, and these UK fighters will still be fighting in the UK and also in America. And the other fighters that he signs, for example, because he has said that he wants to sign Wilder and the Charlos, doesn't mean that they're just going to be fighting in the US. They could be coming to the UK as well. So it's going to be cross. So going back onto it, $125 million a year over 16 shows in America and 20 shows for the UK, and top up that 125 million with the sponsorships plus Sky Sports. You do the math. I mean, I don't know how much Sky Sports pay, to be honest, but clearly a lot. Okay, they pay an awful lot. Now, he has said that he's also going to be working with other promoters as well, as in he's not ruling that out. That's not something he's ever done. So, for example, he's got a co-event with Top Rank coming up soon, with Ankayat versus Sultan, which is number 1, number 2 Philippines, with Matchroom fighter on as a co-main event for Cal Yafai. So he is still going to be doing these shows, and they'll be shown on HBO and ESPN or Showtime, whichever network it is or whichever company that he's going to be working with. But Daniel Jacobs, he's still exclusive to HBO, so he will not be on Dazn. Okay, so I mean, there's so many things. I mean, this is a massive, massive power move. Now already, Eddie Hearn had the ability and the financial backing from Sky and sponsorships to do a very good job in America anyway. But now with Dazn adding $125 million on top of what he's already getting per year is phenomenal. Now, people in America, I've already heard some people saying that they're going to boycott in the hope that they're going to kick out Eddie Hearn. Well, guess what? You can't kick him out for at least the next 8 years. Okay? It cannot happen. He's got an 8-year contract. Okay? And not only that, you can boycott. But to be honest, these people don't have a choice. Okay? They're not going to boycott. They're all talk. They haven't got the balls to do it. Okay? Because ultimately, what's going to happen is, and let's be honest, he now has the budget to take any fighter who is not legally bound to another promoter. So he could walk into PBC and pretty much take virtually all the fighters if he wanted to, and pay them a hell of a lot more money than what they're currently getting, with a guarantee of more shows per year. Because as I said, at the minute he's got what, 36 shows across UK and America. So he needs a lot of fighters. He needs big stables. He can't just use what he's got, because that's not enough. Okay, he needs the Charlos. He needs a Deontay Wilder. He needs to keep hold of Danny Jacobs, keep hold of Jaron Miller. You know, who knows? At some point, we could probably see Terence Crawford and Vasyl Lomachenko coming over. See Triple G coming over when their contracts expire, because he can afford to pay them way more than what they're getting. Now, of course, there are a lot of people who are loyal. So we'll talk about PBC, for example. I'm sure that there's a lot of people there who are probably loyal to Al Heyman. And I think Broner's probably one of them, as an example. But of course, Broner, he has his own promotional company as well. But, you know, we'll really have to wait and see. But he's got a budget that Showtime and HBO in America cannot compete with. As I said, he was already dangerous over there. He was already going to be stepping on toes. Imagine now. He is pretty much going to be owning the monopoly on boxing in America, across the world. That is a phenomenal amount of money. Phenomenal. And if this is a success, then I imagine when they renew the contract, probably more money going in there. Now, of course, people say, well, I'm not going to pay for it, so therefore it's not going to be a success. Well, as I said, eventually you will pay for it, because if you want to watch boxing, you're going to have pretty much no choice. This isn't I'm saying this just so you go, no, I'm not going to do it, or yeah, okay, I will do it. I'm just stating what I feel is that if all these top fighters, so imagine the fighters that, some of you guys like. Okay, you like Keith Thurman. You like Errol Spence Jr. You like Deontay Wilder. You like the Charlos. As an example, if Eddie Hearn grabs them, which he can, and puts them in his stable, what are you going to do? You're going to watch Eddie Hearn shows. you're going to have to pay for it. You can say, well, it's an online thing, so surely there'll be a way to illegally stream it. I wouldn't risk it if I was you. If a company can put $1 billion into this, into boxing, imagine what they can do, as they are an online company. It's not worth the risk. I wouldn't advise it at all. I really wouldn't. Because don't think for 2 seconds that they will not flag where you are using your IP address and all that kind of thing and sue you. But anyway, so the companies that, the places that they are in, of course, is currently Austria, Germany, Japan, Switzerland, and Canada. Now, I would imagine that Dazn is going to be in more countries coming up, no doubt. It's not just boxing that they do. Obviously, they do basketball, they do football, and all kinds of things. So, anyway, this is great news for boxing fans. Now, as I said, there'll be a lot of resistance. A lot of people say, no, we're not going to do it. You know who they are, some of the YouTube channels. We're not going to do it. Eddie Hearn with his plantation and we ain't going to do it. We'll boycott. And, well, you have zero voice. Zero in this. So you may as well just accept it. Okay? Get on your knees and say, okay, fine. We don't like you, Eddie, but you know what? We're still going to watch your show. We are still going to fund your event. Why? Because you need to talk about boxing. Why? Because you need the views. That's why. You have no choice. As of right now, you can say all you're going to say. Now, remember, these people who are saying this, hold them accountable. If you're saying that you're going to boycott and not watch them, you watch. In time, they'll come around and become two-faced. You watch it. I guarantee it. So, just to recap, Eddie Hearn has joined up, or Matchroom USA has joined up with Dazn, which is the Perform group, for an online streaming service, which will be a monthly subscription with 16 US events and 20 UK events that everybody in America and wherever else in the world can watch these events with a monthly subscription. Don't know how much it's going to be between $10 and $20, I would imagine. So with a budget of $1 billion over 8 years, $125 million a year, plus the Sky Sports money, plus the sponsorships, and plus whatever else. There is not one promoter in the world who can compete with him. Not even close. He was already dangerous. Now look at him. He's the Bill Gates of boxing right now. Nothing in the world you can do about it. Any kind of purse bids, he ain't going to lose. Well, he may well lose to Rybinski, World of Boxing, which is Povetkin's team. He could probably lose that one, to be fair. But they're probably the only ones who could probably outbid him in a purse bid. But anyway. So I'm just getting that news out there for you. I think I've covered everything. Hopefully I have. As I said, those of us in the UK, so these 16 events that's going to go on in America, we can still watch it here on Sky Sports. Just that if you're over there in America and Canada and Japan, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, then you will now be able to watch all of the Matchroom boxing events by using this subscription service. And within the next couple of months, you will see his roster grow dramatically. You see so many fighters that are going to jump ship from PBC, and I'm pretty confident that these are going to be the big guns. Al Heyman and whatever, they're going to become what Frank Warren is here in the UK. Bingo halls. That's pretty much what it's going to be. I'm not being rude about it, but that's what it's going to be. Now, you guys can carry on just supporting Al Heyman as you always do. But ultimately, you are going to be talking about Eddie Hearn, whether even in a negative way. You're still making him popular. You're still making eyes turn to Eddie Hearn, so they can judge for themselves. And ultimately, if you're a boxing fan, you'll go, yeah, I like this. Why do I need Showtime, HBO, if boxing is the only sport I'm interested in? Of course, if you're interested in basketball, and, well, Dazn have these ones as well, but ultimately, I'm sure that Showtime, HBO, ESPN, they all have other things that maybe you like. But if it's just boxing that you're interested in, why would you need to be subscribed to these other ones? You just need Dazn. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.